stop everything you are doing right now. I mean it, football fans, because we have a situation developing in the NFC that is absolutely explosive. We are talking about a star receiver, a young phenom who has been breaking records since the moment he stepped onto the turf, and a game-defining moment that has the entire league in an uproar. Something happened on Monday Night Football that shouldn't have happened, and it involves a potential officiating disaster that might have just cost a legendary franchise their momentum heading into the most critical stretch of the season. Was it a catch? Was it interference? The league office is going to be hearing about this one for a long time. Before we dive into the deep analytics and the names involved, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for the most reliable news in the league, and drop a comment right now with your name and the city you are watching from. We want to know where the real fans are. Now, let's get into the details of this developing story. This is Adam Schefter-style reporting, and we have a lot to unpack regarding the Los Angeles Rams and their standout playmaker, Puka Nacua. The Los Angeles Rams are reeling after a heartbreaking loss to the Atlanta Falcons, a game that was defined as much by the miscues on the field as it was by the controversial decisions made by the officiating crew. Puka Nacua, who has quickly become the focal point of the Rams' passing attack, found himself at the center of the storm yet again. The statistics tell one story, but the film tells another. Puka Nacua finished the night with 5 receptions for 47 yards on 10 targets, but those numbers are deceptive. If you look at the plays that were called back or ruled incomplete, Puka Nacua could have easily eclipsed the 200-yard mark in a dominant performance. The most glaring issue arose during a critical 3rd and 10 in the fourth quarter. With the Rams trailing 27-24, Matthew Stafford launched a pass toward the sideline, finding Puka Nacua for what appeared to be a miraculous one-handed grab. The officials on the field ruled it incomplete, claiming he was out of bounds. Despite a review, the call stood, leaving Puka Nacua and the Rams sideline stunned. Puka Nacua later told reporters that he felt confident his feet were in and that he knew exactly where he was on the field. This wasn't the only missed opportunity involving Matthew Stafford and his receiving corps. Earlier in the game, Matthew Stafford attempted a deep shot to Tutu Atwell. Replays clearly showed Falcons cornerback D. Alford pinning Atwell's arm before the ball arrived, a textbook definition of pass interference, yet no flag was thrown. Even the broadcast team of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were left scratching their heads, with ESPN rules analyst Russell Yerk confirming that it was indeed a foul. This adds to a growing frustration for Puka Nacua, who recently faced a $25,000 fine from the NFL for comments he made regarding officiating during a previous game against the Seattle Seahawks. Back then, Puka Nacua suggested officials were looking for camera time, and while his tone was different after the Falcons' loss, the underlying sentiment of being disadvantaged by calls remains. From a tactical standpoint, the absence of Alaric Jackson on the offensive line forced DJ Humphries into a starting role, and it was a struggle. Puka Nacua had 2 massive plays, totaling 66 yards, negated because of penalties called on Humphries. One of those was a touchdown. While Puka Nacua eventually scored on that drive, the time lost off the clock proved fatal for the Rams' comeback efforts. Matthew Stafford, the veteran leader of this team, took full responsibility for the loss after throwing 3 interceptions. Matthew Stafford noted that he simply didn't play well enough to overcome the mistakes, but the missed calls certainly didn't help his cause. Despite the frustration, Puka Nacua continues to etch his name into the history books. During this contest, Puka Nacua became the fastest player in NFL history to reach 300 career receptions, surpassing the likes of Odell Beckham Jr. and Michael Thomas. It is a testament to the incredible chemistry between Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, even on a night where the results didn't go their way. Speaking of Odell Beckham Jr., the former Rams star took to social media to express his disbelief at the non-catch ruling, echoing the sentiments of thousands of fans who felt the Rams were robbed. Looking ahead, the implications for the Los Angeles Rams are massive. Having lost 3 of their last 5, they are now in a must-win situation in Week 18 against the Arizona Cardinals. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford have to find a way to stabilize this offense and ensure that Puka Nacua is put in positions where the officials can't take the game away from them. The Rams also need help from the Seahawks to avoid the 6th seed in the playoffs. The financial impact of these officiating errors can't be understated either. For a team managing the salary cap and roster depth, every win is a building block for future negotiations. Puka Nacua is proving to be one of the best value picks in recent memory, but the Rams need to capitalize on his rookie window now. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk has cited missed pass interference calls as the league's biggest officiating hurdle, and this game will be Exhibit A in the next competition committee meeting. The Rams' defense also struggled to contain Bijan Robinson, but the narrative remains focused on the arm-pinning non-call and the Puka Nacua sideline catch. As we analyze the film, it's clear that the Rams' execution in the first half was lacking, a point Puka Nacua conceded in his post-game remarks. He emphasized that the team needs to perform better early on so they aren't relying on last-minute plays and the whims of the referees.
The connection between Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua is the heartbeat of this team, and if the Rams are to make a deep playoff run, that duo must remain productive despite the hurdles. The league's scrutiny on Puka Nacua after his fine might be playing a role in how these games are called, a theory that many fans are starting to believe. Whether it's a lack of respect for a young player or just a string of bad luck, the Los Angeles Rams are currently on the wrong side of the whistle. Matthew Stafford has seen it all in his career, and his ability to bounce back from a 3-interception game will be the deciding factor against Arizona. Puka Nacua will undoubtedly be ready, as his work ethic and consistency have been the silver lining of this season. We are seeing a historic season from Puka Nacua, one that puts him in the conversation with Hall of Famers like Marshall Faulk in the Rams record books. As the Week 18 matchup looms, the pressure is on Sean McVay to tighten up the discipline on the offensive line so that Matthew Stafford isn't constantly dealing with negated plays. The NFL is a game of inches, and for Puka Nacua and the Los Angeles Rams, those inches were taken away by the men in stripes on Monday night. Stay tuned to this channel as we continue to monitor the league's response to these controversial calls and provide the latest updates on the Rams' playoff push. The road to the Super Bowl goes through the NFC West, and Puka Nacua is the man leading the charge for Los Angeles.